Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Hello everyone, I am Margie Taylor, your host for Conroe Culture News, and we are live from the Conroe, City of Conroe Tower in downtown Conroe. We are live streaming irlonestar.com, FM 104.5, 106.1, and Facebook Live, Conroe Culture News, and YouTube Live. So today we are going to hear from Dr. Stacey Rodgers with Rodgers, Stein, Chiropractic, and talking about her Ladies' Night Out, which is tomorrow on Tuesday from 5 to 7, July 16th. And then we're going to hear from my friend Dennis Price. He's the founder of Heroes for Humanity and what they do, and he himself is quite amazing. He's a Marine Corps veteran and has done 13 tours of deployment. So we will hear from him as well and what he does with Heroes for Humanity. The show is sponsored by Rodgers, Stein Chiropractic, and they are located at 3303 West Davis in Conroe by Conroe High School and Taco Bell. And they are serving people from infants to seniors, weekend athletes to professionals with a focus on natural holistic healing and to relieve pain and achieve optimal health. Dr. Stacey Rodgers holds certifications in adjusting extremities, arm, legs, hands, feet, clinical nutrition, and prenatal pediatric care. For all new patients, it's only $37, and it gets donated back to CASA, Child Court-Appointed Special Advocates for Kids under the Child Welfare System. So what's going on this week? Well, Hurricane Beryl did a number on all of us, and we are still recovering. 75% of Montgomery County residents were without power, and we know what that was like. It was really a rough week. Trees fell on cars, roofs, roads throughout the county. Gas was at a premium commodity, especially with the need to keep our generators going as backup power. It seems a little crazy to tell you about these upcoming events, but maybe we all just need a little break. And you want to do something to make you laugh a little and make your smile a little brighter. So there's a few things going on. The Ladies' Night Out, as I mentioned, with Rodgers, Stein Chiropractic will be Tuesday, July 16th from 5 to 7 with free wine, mini massages, door prizes, and shopping. Go there with your friends and just have fun. All-Star Catering will be having their very famous candy bacon, and it's going to be fun. It's the last weekend to see Beauty and the Beast at the Crichton Theater, presented by Stage Right through Sunday, July 21st. You can go to crichtontheater.org to get your tickets. And Magic returns to the Owen Theater on Wednesday, July 17th, this Wednesday at 7:30 with comedian magician C.J. Johnson, and he's doing Conroe Conjuring. It's a family fun and interactive show with an expert hypnotist. His awards include Hypnotist of the Year, Best Comedy Magic Show, Best Game Show, Outstanding Novelty Awards. You can get your tickets at owentheater.com. McDonald's will host a Coffee with a Cop, and that's a good thing to go to because law enforcement has really been working hard, all of our first responders in the last week. This event is on Wednesday, July 17th from 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. 82 West North Loop 336. Guests are invited to enjoy a complimentary cup of coffee and dessert, engage in conversation with local law enforcement officers, and experience police and emergency vehicles up close. Thank them. Thank our Conroe PD and for helping our community. It is also the last weekend for the Players Theater Company fundraiser at the Owen Theater. The Rocky Horror Picture Show has showings for Thursday, July 18th through Sunday the 21st. Audiences will be able to purchase props. If you've ever been to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, you know what I'm talking about. Usually it's like at midnight. Well, they do have some 7:30 showings and then some at 10 p.m. But choose which one you want to go to and leave your own props at home. The water pistols, the newspapers, the rice, the hot dogs, leave those at home. You can buy the props there. Tickets for the show is at owentheater.com. And for something really different, go to the Lone Star Convention Center Friday, July 19th or Saturday, July 20th for the Balloon Glow and Laser Show. There will be kids zone, game rides, live music, vendor booths, and hot air balloons. Get your tickets by going to Lone Star Convention Center and have some fun. Get up in a hot air balloon. Remember to help our local business owners by shopping downtown, and they have air conditioning. So shop early. Buy the summer bargains they have right now as they're getting their fall merchandise out. Yes, fall merchandise. That's what you have to do. And they really need the help. And anyway, thank you. Be safe. And we'll be right back.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Segment today with Dr. Stacey Rodgers, and she's the head doctor, chiropractor, business owner, women-owned business, all of that, of Rodgers Stein Chiropractic Care, and she has her annual Ladies' Night Out, and she's going to tell us all about that. That is happening on Tuesday, the day after today, and it will be July 16th from 5 to 7 p.m. So... Dr. Stacey, it's nice to see you back. She's also the sponsor of our show for many years. I don't even know how many years, but many years. Yes. So thank you for being here. It's been a week, hasn't it?
Yes. Thank you for having me, Margie. Appreciate it.
Of course. And with that, everybody needs to get out and have a little fun.
Yes.
And free fun is even better, right?
Yes, especially after this last week.
So you're located at 3303 West Davis. Mm-hmm. Very easy to find. If you're going westbound on 105, it's just past Conroe High School and Taco Bell, and you will see them there on the left. And you have been over there at that center for how long?
Since 2015.
2015. Wow.
Almost 10 years.
Wow. How long have you been in practice?
24 years.
24 years. And it just keeps growing and growing, your
Yes.
business.
Yes.
And you have 3 chiropractic doctors, and you just opened a new venue over in Huntsville.
Yes, just opened in Huntsville in December. Dr. Murray is working that office.
And he's wonderful.
Yes.
All of your doctors
Yes.
are fabulous.
Yes.
And you have Spanish speaking as well.
Yes.
And you help everybody. Weekend athletes to professionals. Babies
Yes.
in utero.
Yeah.
Is that how you say that?
Yes.
Prenatal.
Perinatal care.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And to when they're born to seniors. So with that, you have been offering this Ladies' Night Out how many years?
We've been doing Ladies' Night Out since 2008.
2008. Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be Ladies' Night Out on Tuesday, 5 to 7. Free admission.
Yes. Free massages.
Free massages.
Yes, free massages.
Free wine.
And it's going to be catered by All Star Catering.
Oh,
with
well, we
Cody
love-
and Candace Spence.
Oh,
Yes.
We love All Star Catering. And wonderful. Candy bacon.
Candied bacon. Can't do without the
all of
candied
that.
bacon.
So, I mean, can guys come?
They can, and they are absolutely welcome. So we are trying to focus on the women because it is a girls' night out. But we'll have lots of prizes, door prizes, drawings. We are giving away a very cute Michael Kors purse. It's gold. And so if you come, then you get tickets in for visiting the different vendors. So we are welcoming women vendors that want to set up a booth at Our Ladies' Night Out. Then they can come, set up a booth, tell our visitors about their business, and that gives us an opportunity to give back to our community, especially after this last week. Some people may have had to shut down their business with a power loss, and we want to open that up to someone who might need a little extra boost this next week. So if they do, they can definitely give us a call, and we'll get them set up for Ladies' Night Out. But it's open to the public, and we'll start at 5, and we'll go to 7. The wine will be flowing. Or heavy hors d'oeuvres, that's what All Star Catering is going to be providing catering-wise, and then the massages will start right away. So we will get that up and running, and we're really looking forward to the community coming in and joining us that night. Everyone is welcome. Our community is welcome.
And you get tickets when you go around for the handbag, possibly for the drawing and different things.
Yes.
So you get tickets if you post a picture on social media and tag Rodgers Stein Chiropractic.
Yes.
If you go to the selfie station, if you bring a guest.
Yes.
So that's pretty easy to do. Bring a guest. And if you book a new patient appointment. So new patients.
Yes.
That is $37.
It's $37, and that's the consultation, the exam, the x-rays, and then the report of findings.
And
So,
where does that money go?
we like to donate that money to CASA. We're hoping that they're going to be able to join us. It's been a little chaotic for them
Sure.
This past week, but we're hoping CASA will be able to come and set up a booth. So CASA is Court-Appointed Special Advocates, and it is an organization that advocates for kids in the foster system. So we really like to give back to CASA because we have so many pediatric patients ourselves, and we really like to give back to kids.
That's one of your passions, is doing things for kids.
Yes.
And you have the kids' night out with different themed events
Yes.
like heroes or Disney characters or anything like that. What's the next one that's coming up?
The next one, we are going to do patriotic theme. So we're going to do red, white, and blue. And that one is July 24th. So kids get to come in, and if they are in the practice, existing patients, and it's a lot of fun. So all the doctors dress up. The kids really like to see
It's fun. You like
that.
dressing up too.
Well, it's fun because the kids think it's really exciting.
cool.
Yes, my Frozen, my Elsa dress is the most popular currently.
I think you have a lot of costumes, don't you?
Maybe.
I'm sure. Okay. So free ladies' night out Tuesday, July 18th from 5 to 7 p.m. Vendors are still welcome to come. What are
Yes.
some of the vendors that you have right now?
So we have Mary Kay, we have insurance agents, we have real estate, we have homemade soaps, essential oils, we have the 2 massage therapists that are coming. We have someone who's making pastries. We have a person who's a pastry chef. So they're
that's
coming
cool.
and making pastries. And we have an esthetician coming. So we'll have a little free facials. So people will get to enjoy that too. And really, really looking forward to that.
Well, it's wonderful, and it's always very crowded, actually. A lot of people go. There's always somebody there that I know.
Yes.
A few people, perhaps.
Yes.
So it's fun, and might as well get out there on Tuesday evening because why not? We all deserve a little break.
Yes.
And if you want to bring your guy friend, that's okay, but it is ladies' night out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe they could set up a booth. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely. And we've been contacted even this week with everything that's happening. Are you going to still have it, or is this going to happen? And yes, we will be opening. We will have our ladies' night out, and expecting a good turnout, and hopefully can give back to the community in this way after such a hard week last week.
It definitely was. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and we appreciate you sponsoring the show every single week. And I myself will be out there and have been sharing that with lots of people so they know about it.
Thank you, Margie. We
So,
appreciate you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Conroe Culture News is sponsored by Rodgers Stein Chiropractic. Since 2004, Rodgers Stein Chiropractic, led by Dr. Stacey Rodgers, has offered spine and joint manipulation services to residents of Montgomery County for lower back pain, migraines, whiplash, sciatica, sports injuries, herniated discs, headaches, and complications from pregnancy. For more information about today's sponsor, Rodgers Stein Chiropractic, they can be called at 936-441-9990 or go online to rodgerssteinchiropractic.com. New patients pay only $37 with all proceeds.
And we are back for our second segment today. I am Margie Taylor, your host at Conroe Culture News. And sitting across the table from me is Dennis Price. He's the founder of Heroes for Humanity, as in Heroes, the number 4, Humanity. And he is a Marine Corps veteran, and he now works with humanitarian relief, disaster relief, and evacuation services, amongst many other things. So we're going to watch a short, 5-ish minutes video that gives you a little bit of background about Dennis, and then we're going to come back and talk about where he is now.
My name is Dennis Price. I served about 17 years in the Marine Corps, 15 years active duty, Force Recon, Scout Sniper, Ranger, JSOC. I say all this because at one point in my life, it meant so much to me, those titles. Probably the greatest title I ever had was being a father. I joined the Marine Corps about 17 years old. About 16 years ago in Iraq, I was a machine gunner. We were doing a convoy operation from Fallujah to Ramadi, just like we did hundreds of times before. We were coming up through the city of Ramadi, and we were coming up under an underpass through a bridge. Once you go under the bridge, you switch lanes. The first vehicle goes, they do exactly what they're supposed to do. The next vehicle goes. He ran over a IED, and it kicked off what changed my life for the worst. The vehicle in front of me gets decimated. A rocket flies in between me and the vehicle, and then it kicks off this IED initiated ambush. To my left, to the southeast of the city of Ramadi, we started getting shot at, and all we could see was muzzle blast through the city. After watching that moment of my buds just getting destroyed, I was so mad, I was so angry. I wanted to kill every single person there that day. We were trapped on the X for what seemed to be eternity. From there, I struggled through life and walked through life. I feel like I couldn't feel anything but bitter hate, rage. I had 2 modes. I was either pissed off or super pissed off. And I let that fire within me consume my life. I started trying to replace that hole inside me in my spirit with anything that I could fill it with. At the time, it was like since I pushed out God from my life, he was always there. I just thought he had no place in war. Whenever I came back, I would try to get back into religion, back in the church, and it worked for a little bit. I did 7 back-to-back deployments in the Marine Corps, and then I did 6 more in the private military contracting world. I was chasing the high, trying to fulfill what that void left in my soul. I slowly allowed God back into my life. And then I always went back each deployment to pushing him back out. My youngest daughter, she was born with 2 rare diseases, Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome, BWS. I thought my life was over. I thought the world was crashing down on my shoulders. When I got handed that $1.2 million bill from Amelia's Medical, that was my solution. It was that my family will get $400,000 or $500,000. This was my answer. Like, this was my fault. My family would be better off without me. I eventually let the devil into my head so much that there was no other logical thought in my head. He convinced me, and there was not a solid reason past that to take my own life. At this point, I was in my basement working out and biking for like an hour. I eventually picked up the phone after a couple hours, and I called one of my close buds and friends. In my head, I was like, this is not a false promise. Like, I can't think of one solid reason not to blow my brains out right now. Maybe he can give me one reason. He didn't pick up. I called again. He was out traveling. All else was white noise. I couldn't think of a single reason not to do it. Hour 3 or 4 goes by, and I'm still staring at the gun. One last thought goes through my head, and it's a random statistic I read, and says, if a parent commits suicide, your children then are 10 times more likely to then commit suicide. And I'm sitting there like, wow, I can't believe that's what just randomly popped in my head. So as all these statistics are racing through my head and I have the gun in my hand, I'm like, man, I cannot fake it. I can't hack it one more day to give my kids a better life. I can't even do that one last time. I put the gun down and I go in and I put on Cornerstone TV, which is a church channel, and I'm like, man, I'm so messed up right now. I need help. I go seek help through counseling and everything, and go back to what I know. Just like everyone's baseline, just like zeroing a sniper rifle or anything like that. I needed zeroed in life. I had to go back to a baseline, and what is that baseline? It's Christianity. It's the church. I don't care if I have to work every hour of my life. I will pay off this $1.2 million debt. I will figure out a way to do it and give my family the father they deserve. I got out and joined, what used to be called Blackwater, and I started government contracting through different contracts, OGA ones to just various different ones. I was walking down the hallways, and all of a sudden, it felt like I got struck by lightning. And that is the best way I always try to describe it. Every hair on my body was standing up, and that's the first and only time I ever heard the audible voice of God. And he says, "You have to go save them." I was like, what? What's going on? And I go down the hall, and I turn on the TV, and I see Afghanistan, Kabul, all about to fall, and this is before it fell. My rebuttal was, what can I do? And the next response was, anything. Within one day, I had a family who had 6 children. I got given a family, I got given a mission, I got given a timeline saying in 6 days, their oldest daughter, who's 14, and their youngest, and their second daughter, who's 11, are gonna be raped and sold off to the Taliban. And with God's power and everything like that, within 24 hours, I owned a 50-acre compound in Alaska. 24 hours after that, I had a 6-man joint special operations team. 24 hours after that, I had a plane, and I had access to go in Afghanistan. On the 5th day, we rescued his family out of Afghanistan. That changed my life. From that moment, immediately rescuing them, I got shifted all of these missions. In 2 weeks, I was able to save 55 Americans out of Afghanistan. What now is formed as Save Our Allies. I got invited for that, and then that's when I met Chad Robichaud, and he heard what I was doing and what I did, and he offered me to go on a 2-man unsupported operation to cross into Afghanistan and save remainder Americans and provide routes out of Afghanistan. I said, well, this is God's calling. 2 weeks later, we went to Afghanistan, we went to Tajikistan, and we eventually was able to save, about 82 American and vetted interpreters out of Afghanistan. I say that all because this is not my story to tell, this is God's story. He used me, a broken man, used my life skill when I convinced myself years ago that I was here as God's war vessel. It was just that slight shift from going from taking lives to saving lives. It changed my life. I now dedicate my life to serving God, serving the Lord, and using my skill set to helping others and serving others. Now, I work at Mighty Oaks. I go around and help other veterans. I help them deal with same exact things I am. And I go around the world and just try to help people out, because that's ultimately what we're here for.
Dennis, so now, after we've watched that, wow, it's a lot. It's a lot. So you are all over the place. You have recovered people. You've helped Americans in dire straits and bad situations. And when you had that moment that changed your life, that aha and beyond God poke, so to speak, what happened?
What happened after?
So, after you had that, you decided you needed to do something. You needed to be that person.
Yeah.
So you went ahead and you got involved in humanitarian relief projects.
Yeah, so after hearing the audible voice of God, I knew I had to do something. And it was complete devotion and dedication to being obedient. And quickly I found out that I had a family of like 6 in Afghanistan, dual citizens for Alaska and Afghanistan, and we were able to rescue them in 5 days, given a 6-day notice, saying on the 6th day his oldest, his 14-year-old and I believe 11 or 12-year-old daughter was going to be raped off, sold off, and forcibly married to the Taliban. And truly working with Christ and him using guys like us to be his hands and feet, we were able to get him and his family out on the 5th day, one day before his oldest daughters were supposed to be raped and sold off to the Taliban, 45 minutes before Abbey Gate blew up. And we moved them from Kandahar to Kabul and out through the gate, and then they were safe from there. Eventually came back to America in Alaska, back where their home is.
So what's going on now? So tell me about how you got to start your nonprofit.
Yeah, so that was Afghanistan, and it changed my life from there. So I formed a LLC so I could be protected legally, so I couldn't be sued and take everything I owned from there. But in that Panjshir River Valley, when I swam across, I truly, I always try to say that's when I submitted my full life to Christ, and I realized that's when he took me from what I thought was his life, I thought he was trying to make me his war vessel of going all these back-to-back deployments, all these special operations schools, being very successful. I thought my life goal was to be from taking lives, and from going from that 1 degree off of taking lives to saving lives. I was on fire for Christ. When I came out of that Panjshir River Valley, I was like, how can I serve others using the gifts and talents of the Lord?
And that energy is moving you forward.
Yes.
It's restoring your soul.
Yes.
Completely.
Yes. And it was an epiphany. When I realized that it was 1 degree off from there, the whole world changed. It was clear now. When I lived in darkness, I stumbled in the dark. I went through highs and lows, and I was lost. And like what I say all the time is, I was a broken man. But look what God would do with the pieces. And so when you ask when I started this thing, it was during the invasion of what was happening in Ukraine. It was Russia just moved into Ukraine.
So a couple years ago.
Yes. It was. I started in March 2022, and I saw what was happening in the news, and we didn't think it was actually going to go through. And when those tanks rolled in and started obliterating and genocide and mass murdering innocent people were doing sitting on like with their families at picnics, and just all of a sudden artillery shells start raining down, and we all know what happened, and now where we are today. Well, the voice of the cry and of the needing called out. And at the time, which we all too forget what happened now, because a lot of American aid goes to there and supports there. But at the time of the invasion of Ukraine, into the first 9+ months, there was not a single support. There's not a single U.S. dollar or anything like that. And when I try to go over there and help, rescue orphans who were getting special needs orphans at the time that came down to go from there, and ultimately we end up doing a medical mission and doing rescue missions in Ukraine in the invasion. I realized that there was no U.S. dollars to fund this. There was no able to get money. But those kids, they didn't care who funded it. And I was like, how can I do this? How can I not put my family even more into debt, trying to help save others? And I prayed on it. I meditated on it. And eventually it came to me that, I had an LLC from the Afghan evacs. Well, there's no money, and no one cares who pays the bill. Those kids just need saved, and those people need help. Absolutely. So I started. I found out that you could be a nonprofit, and that you could be, you could do the right thing for the right reason, and it doesn't matter who pays now, as long as you're doing the right thing for the right reason, and people are taking care of each other. As we saw in the Afghan evacs, if we were sitting around waiting for our government, if we're sitting around waiting for some higher system to come, it's not going to come. But we as people, we as good servants of the Lord, we as good just human beings take care of people. And when I was in the first, from the invasion to the first 9 months of Ukraine, America was not supporting anything or giving to Ukraine. But then why was I standing shoulder to shoulder with Americans standing in Ukraine? Is because good people stood up and stepped up to do the right thing for the right reason, even if their country wasn't supporting. Because people were being genocided, people were being obliterated, all innocent people, and we have to stand up. So I started the nonprofit, like what I always coined it, and that's how I made the name, is that 20 years of global war on terror, America needed a warrior. Now the world needs a hero, and it's not Heroes for America. It's not, anything like that. It is Heroes for Humanity. Humanity now needs a hero of people to use their gifts and talents of the Lord to step up and not and help each other. So we started it. We immediately spun it up, and we were able to send a doctor, nurse, paramedic, 18 Delta Special Forces medic, veteran, and 3 veteran special operators. And we lived in an orphanage in Ukraine, provided medical aid and assistance for 3 weeks, and did rescue missions all out and medical assistance in that orphanage in Ukraine off of $3,600. And I love telling that story.
This fuels your fire, I
can
can
does,
tell. It
because
just totally does. And people talking to you can feel that. And that's, I believe, how you get other people involved, is by sharing your message, your mission. Let's talk about your pillars.
Yeah, so and that flows directly in our pillars. So I always try to say, when people say, what is your fundamentals? So pillars, one not equal or more great, or one not more or less than the other. They're equal. So in no specific order, I'll go with one of the first ones is personnel precision rescues. When and as you saw in my testimony, and and you hear me from going from Afghanistan withdrawals, evacuations to Ukraine, to rescuing sexually trafficked children around the U.S. and just helping people out of tough spots. That is where I was saved and submitted my life to Christ, and what he used me for and what my skill sets are good at is personnel precision rescues, or precision personnel rescues. We go in and use the same skills and technology of 17 years of special operations and my other co-workers and veterans. Instead of targeting terrorists and locating and destroying them there, we use that same skills and gifts and experience.
All your experience,
to go and locate a missing child, or in Afghanistan, to go and locate a person and their family, and we go and rescue them.
Humanitarian relief.
Yes.
It's making a huge difference, because I believe everything you do in your life, all your experiences, all your chapters, lead you to the next place, which is what you're saying.
Yep.
That all that did make you, without knowing you were going to ever do this, especially when you were in your worst situation, total darkness, really wanted to commit suicide or whatever, take your life, into doing something different. So you have started that. You also, humanitarian relief, national disaster relief, evacuation services, and so then you have other pillars that you work on.
Yeah, so in all those other ones you named are services that ultimately fall down. As we trim the organization, and we recently are rebuilding the website, and we're crunching it down to, it all comes off of these 3 pillars. The personnel precision rescues. We don't counter traffic. We don't do any of that stuff. We do rescue missions. And just so happens that sexually trafficked children need rescuing.
Absolutely.
So that's a byproduct of precision personnel rescues. The second pillar is humanitarian medical aid. It just so naturally flows into being human rights activists, is that you're trying to be the hands and feet of the Lord and use the gifts and talents to be his servant and be obedient and use those gifts to help others. And that's humanitarian aid and medical aid. I've recently went to special operations EMT course through Marine Special Operations, and went through a whole bunch of different advanced medical schools. So I use those gifts and talents and other veterans who are similar, and nurses, doctors, lawyers, everyone, to go and do these things to help others. For example, right now, Houston floods. Tomorrow and the next day, I am there 24/7, going down into Angleton and in the Houston area for the next 48 hours, and gathering any veteran, any volunteer, any person who wants to do the right thing and help their neighbors and to help others. Then join me, join Samaritan's Purse, join anyone, all these different nonprofits, Red Cross and everyone down in Angleton. And Friday and Saturday, I will specifically be there leading the front on that. And then we, as Heroes for Humanity, will be helping our local communities by sending a constant rotation for about a month until this problem resolves. As long
it's
as
going to take time.
And it is. And as long as there's a cry for the needy, we will be there. And we will be there providing, humanitarian aid and medical assistance, but being there as the hands and feet of the Lord and helping. And even if that means blending into our third pillar, which is evangelizing. Man, I tried to hide it for so long in my and openly posting it because it restricts you from 26 countries of being a Christian, or it's illegal to be it's illegal to carry a Bible in 26 countries. I didn't want that to be a thing. I kept saying we were faith-based, but man, I can't stop like I said, I'm on fire for Christ, and like I want not just me, I want others to like. I don't want to. I can't be on every mission. I can't be on everything. But the Lord calls us to go be fishers of men. Go tell them what happened today, as when Jesus did with the disciples of pulling all the fish up. Go be fishers of men. Tell them what you saw today. And I love using my testimony as that because it flows directly in that. You know, I was a broken man. But look what God did with the pieces. From the Afghan evacs to the Ukraine to helping humanitarian medical aid and assistance to going out and rescuing sexually trafficked children to going and helping, being a call for the needy and being that rescue arm, those hands and feet of the Lord and using the gifts and talents. I can't be there all the time, but guess what? God calls all of us to do that. Be His hands and feet of it.
The two greatest commandments are love the Lord with all your soul and all your heart, and treat your neighbor as yourself. And so you're living it.
Yeah. And I'm just encouraging others to step up
kind
and
of the
do
golden
the same.
rule.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I mean, Jesus says that in his when he teaches others to prayer, exactly what you're saying is to love thy neighbor.
Love thy neighbor as thyself.
Yeah.
Do unto others.
and that's why I'm trying to rally everyone for the humanitarian assistance down here in Houston and ultimately Texas, and we're going to continue as long as the call goes out.
So how can people here in Montgomery County assist you or jump in, or whether it's hands or donations or anything like that?
Yeah, so first, we're a 501c3, so and not just a 501c3. We are a 501c3 that 100% of all donations go to Mission Essentials only. I'm the founder and CEO, and I don't get paid. I don't pay anyone else because why? Because if we led with our hearts, not with our wallets, man, where would we be today? And I try to lead by example, because if I'm going and doing this for free, and then you definitely are better to be doing this for free, and I weigh your heart, not your resume. What do you have to bring to the table? Faith. That's undedicated faith. Once we dedicate and completely submit our life to Christ and do His works and be His hands and feet, use our gifts and talents to the Lord, that's how we make this world a better place. You know, it takes a village to raise a family, and right now, if we're all worried about our independent houses, that is why our village is so messed up. So please go out and donate to Heroes for Humanity. You can find us on our website. It's going to be reconstructed right now. We're revamping it to the .org. Right now, it is Heroes for humanity.us. If they go and click on that, they can reach out to us. You'll see the old mission statements of still same mission statements, but the old, like where we trimmed it to 3 pillars, is the personnel, precision rescues, and then humanitarian medical aid and evangelizing. That all the other subsectors are just inherent to those missions.
Sure.
But they can reach out to their contact the email address, which ultimately is heroes for humanity.pa, because originally it started in Pennsylvania, at gmail.com. Like I said, that'll ultimately move to heroesforhumanity.org, and we'll get a domain. That's all under the works right now. But that is how people can reach out to us. Also, Instagram is one of our most reactive ones, where we're posting daily. We're very reactive to that. So people go in and follow at heroes.for humanity. That if someone shoots a message and says, "Hey, how can I help out? How can I serve? Where can I donate?" and I can easily point them to where and how we can give the if everyone's worrying it so much of where should I tithe to? Where do I know it'll go the farthest? Well, there's a million places out there that can do awesome things, but there's a reason why I have not built a structure yet. That's why I haven't built a church yet. That's why I haven't built a building, because wherever the church is not, that's where we will be. That's where you'll find us. And Heroes for Humanity is specifically different from everyone else, is because we take these veterans from special operations and we go and reach.
You're in the community. You're not in a building.
We're in the community. We're global. We have the skills.
Where you need to be.
Yes, is to go in the hard to reach places to reach those hard to reach souls, and that's what we do, and that's what we specialize in. And wherever God needs us is where we'll be, and wherever the church is not, we will be.
Well, all your links will be in the video.
Okay, great.
Because they have those. And so people can go to any of those and then find more information about how to get in touch with you, and that going to your website or your social media or any of those directives. So how you have people that are in special ops that are with you all the time, right?
Yes.
That are part of your team. Are they all veterans, and how did they get to where they're at?
Yeah, great question. So even though our mission statement, specifically how we are founded and built, is veterans from special operations, using the gifts and talents and experience to make the world a better place. That's ultimately the mission statement. Is we in our bylaws and everything else from that, we don't just stop there. Like, why would we stop and not allow anyone to help? Instead, we some people who are just good-hearted people and maybe aren't Christian, that's fine and that's okay. But still, people want to help people. So we take volunteers from all over, we train them up, and we show our experience, and we train them. We take tons of nurses, medical personnel, from doctors to even EMTs and paramedics. We take all of them to then taking first responders, law enforcement officers, or anyone, religious leaders, Christians, or
Anybody who
anyone
wants to offer something.
Yes, to make the world a better place. What can you do? Well, at first it starts, just like Michael Jackson said in his song, it starts with the man in the mirror.
Yes.
and that's what it is. We can say all you want, man, God, how could you let this happen? How could you let this happen in this world? No. How could we let this happen? He calls us to be his hands and his feet, and it starts with the man in the mirror. What are you doing to make the world a better place? Why are you letting this happen?
It's very good. Well, I appreciate you coming on and sharing this, and I hope that we see more of you and hear more from you about what you're doing. We have a lot of same beliefs, and I think we're in alignment. I also am trying to make the world a better place by doing things at the federal level. So I know you're making a difference. I know you are, and I think it's all very positive. Heroes for number 4 humanity, and Instagram heroes.for.humanity. Look them up. It's easy to find. Y'all know how to use the search boxes for things. Send them a DM in their Instagram or anything like that. And watch the video again, because it has a lot of great information. And this is Dennis Price, and he is very passionate about what he does. He's been through 14 deployments, Marine Corps, and then also private military operations, things like that. So he knows his stuff, and how can you deny that passion? It's there. So thank you very much for coming on the show today, and we also want to give a shout out to Stacey Rodgers, Stein Chiropractic, for sponsoring the show. So until next week, we'll talk later.